Yeah, he is. Welcome everybody to Ladies Night Live. We got Yoda and Lucy here. So, we were just a little backstage, just going over how's the weather in each other's areas and catching up on families and how's everybody's families, all that kind of good stuff. So, welcome everybody in the chat. Dusty, Tambra, Shannon, local prepper. Welcome everybody.
Yeah, my stickers are on the way. So I was only expecting one, so we'll see. But you remember what I have to do with that? I got to put it on the Backmaster, and then I have to start doing videos with Backmaster promoting LP. We're gonna just kind of go back and forth, kind of tag team it and that kind of thing. So because he has one too, so
okay,
we got him the same weekend, as a matter of fact. So,
oh, that's cool.
So
yeah, well, you remember
I got a question to ask you, ladies. I got a question to ask you, especially you, Yoda.
Oh gosh,
did you get a notification from Tag
about
he's been banned for 3 weeks?
No, he didn't tell me that.
Yeah, he sent me a notification a few hours ago. He's going to do his live on Facebook.
Really?
Oh, okay.
He's got a 3-week suspension.
Naughty. He did not text
3
me.
week suspension.
Grumpy may know. I wonder why he got a 3-week suspension. That's kind of weird.
To do with medical. Something to do with medical.
Maybe.
Oh, that's ridiculous because... Okay. Well, I don't know.
I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what it was. But he sent me, and I hit on it right away, and I said, yes, I will be there. He invited me.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be pretty busy, so I'll ask G when we get off, and then I'll message B and find out what the heck is going on. But yeah, we had our strikes, so I get it. But
yeah. ATL, we are going to be doing World Without Rule of Law, playing a scenario card game. And you can make your own sandwich if you want to.
You know, like I'm gonna have to get up and turn the timer off. I literally all the way up until I got in here, I've been cooking. In fact, I pulled the last dishes out, and I was like, okay, wait, because we're trying to get ready for the SOE party. Hopefully, you guys will all be there. But just today, I've made meatloaf casserole. What was the other one? Shoot, what did I call that? I've been playing with recipes. Creamy chicken casserole, and then I just did another version of something with chicken, and I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. So,
a chicken surprise.
Well, no, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of funky. It's not really a pot pie, but like I used the vegetable cream cheese spread. And then used 8 ounces of that. And then I did half a cup of sour cream. And then I did some garlic, some pepper, that kind of thing. And then the chicken, fry it up and get it going, not fry, but, you just, I put it in the skillet. And so had that going. And I just taste until I get it right. And so I did that. And then I was like, okay, what the heck am I going to put on this? And I was like, ooh, I'll just add potatoes to it. We'll just make it one casserole. And then I went back, and she's got the large freeze dryer on top of my freezer where the potatoes are. And I was like, okay, so that's not happening. So I took mashed potatoes, and I just layered the bottom. Well, first I put them in the food processor, and I added eggs to it. And then so kind of like a souffle type deal. And then what I did is I baked the potatoes and that kind of thing so it rises a little bit, and then layered my creaminess, cheesiness on top of it, and then baked it a little bit. Oh gosh, it smells so good. I've been trying to keep myself warm because we're so cold, and the only way I can do that is we've got the fireplace going, but really I kind of live in the kitchen. And so the stove has just been running and it keeps me warm and that kind of thing. I certainly hope Indiana Mike and MMR have plenty of space in their freezers. So, we'll see. But, yeah. That'll be in the cookbook. It's delicious. It's really good. Let me go turn this timer off. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I keep getting notifications because it's my husband and his twin sister. It's their birthday today. So I keep getting notifications flying on my phone saying happy birthday to them.
Okay. And he's sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Well, anyway,
he was out in a tractor today in the bush, and that took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Pretty bad when you sleep on your birthday. He gets to do what he wants, though. He got to rest. I made him I cooked him his favorite fried potatoes and onions on the wood stove with sausage and pork chop.
Oh. Yeah. I'll be right back. I gotta go see what this dog is raising Cain about.
I was like, yeah, he's been really excited for a while.
I'm like, is it a neighbor or a squirrel?
Just be careful. It's not a skunk. You don't want to walk into a skunk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when you have to know that you got a bottle of poof on hand, right? So we've got this. Do you have poof up there?
Do I have what?
Poof. POOF.
What's that?
It's this.
Nope,
spray.
never heard of it.
Yeah, so it's the spray down here, and like I don't know, who knows if the commercial's correct or the advertising or whatever. But I guess they came up with this thing. It's all natural, and you can put it in your mouth. It's safe for kids, safe for you, the whole 9 yards, and it keeps the stink down out of the yards that where you take the trash and all that. And so they started putting it in bottles and started selling it. And so I use that crap on everything. I'm like,
oh wow! I've been here for 24 years, and I've only had one encounter with a skunk, and that's when we had our garage. I was wondering what I had a little terrier then, and I was wondering what she was barking about. So I went out and I saw the skunk in the garage. It hadn't sprayed. I put her in the house and I was 10 feet from it, and I looked at it and I said, what the heck are you doing in here? And all of a sudden it'd come up at me and patter its feet really hard on the cement floor, and then it'd go to turn its ass. And I said, don't you think of spraying me, because if you do, you're going to be a dead boy. And I said, I'm going to go back in my house. And I opened up the back door and I said, you better be gone, because I'll be coming out with the gun. And I came back out and he was gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I never, knock on wood, even though I live in the bush, I've never seen a skunk since.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I usually see him as roadkill, so. But.
Yeah, my daughter's dog, when she was a puppy, encountered with a skunk, and the only thing they had was salsa sauce, so they bathed her in salsa sauce to get rid of it, and it cleared it, but they went through a lot of salsa sauce to give her a good bath in it, but it took it away.
What was it? What did you call it?
Salsa sauce.
Salsa.
It's tomato sauce with onions and everything. You know, you can dip your chips and stuff in it. Your tortilla chips and stuff.
Okay.
The way she's sounding, it sounds like a horror movie going on over there.
Happening over there.
I don't know what they was really barking at.
So I saw you guys' live. Ashley, I saw your live last night.
Yeah.
And, I had to crack up laughing. And that's good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the lamb and the cookies. And
they are. And I am like spacing out the lamb. Because at first I was like, okay, I'm going to have this one and this one and this one. And I'm like, no, I need to take my time.
Yeah.
And space it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is
Jennifer,
amazing.
Jennifer just texted me. I seen it come on my phone, asked me if I'm on the live, but I can't answer her because I'm on the live.
Oh, yeah. Did she get that moose?
Northern girl.
Yeah. Did she get
What's that?
moose? Did she get the moose?
I don't know. I don't know.
Man,
Oh,
those
I
were
just
some
finished.
big
She's
prints.
saying something. Just a second. I hope I don't lose you guys.
Okay,
It'll
if you
tell me
do,
what she.
we'll hold off
I
on the
just
game.
finished filming and I'm tired.
You
I
need
gotta.
to tell her to get on here.
Yeah, I sent her the link as well.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know why she doesn't come on. She needs to. She's
Yeah,
good.
she's busy too, so I know, but
Yeah, and I know she gets tired also. She does a lot during the day as well.
yeah.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Yeah,
And
but
they're trying to. They moved
did you see
before
those
this. She didn't get as
prints?
much snow as us. She didn't get as much snow as us
Yeah.
because she's only 2 hours from me, and she didn't get as much snow.
They were hunting in the snow yesterday, so
That's
but
further north. That's why.
yeah, yeah. And so those prints, I was amazed, she took her hand and
Yep.
then, looked at it and I was
Yep.
like, holy smoke, I hope you get that thing. Like you could eat off of that. A family of 8 could eat off that moose for a year and a
Well,
half.
the one that we had the game warden come in and shoot, it had been hit by a vehicle, and we've seen it down in the bushes just on the opposite side of our property. So we called the game warden because it'd been there for a week and it never moved. It was
Yeah.
eating everything on the branches and everything around. They came and they shot it, slit the throat, made it bleed and everything, and then he sat on it and was slapping it. And then the game warden looked at me. We're in almost waist deep of snow. And he
Yeah.
looked at me and he says, "Oh, it would go about 1,600 pounds." I said, "Whoa." He said, "Yeah, it's a big bull." And then we were walking out to the truck, to the road. And he said, "Yeah," he says, "I'll get somebody to come and get it out of here unless you guys eat moose." I said, "Oh, we eat moose." So he said, "Come with me to the truck." He filled out the paper so that we could have it in our freezer. And it took my son and his Dodge Dakota and a friend with his Dodge Dakota to get it out to the road with big chains and they dragged it up the road and we hung it. And it was in our garage. When we had our garage, from the floor to the rafters in the garage was 10 feet. And we put 2 come-alongs on its hind legs at the back. I call them the back elbows. They were up inside the rafters, and the neck and the head was still laying on the floor. That's how big it was.
Dang.
Yeah.
And
And then just last week, my daughter was hunting the property, and she was hiding in a spot where there's 2 runs that come into to like a narrow spot. She was behind a rock, but up against a tree, so they couldn't see her, and she could use either run. And all of a sudden, whoosh! She texts me. She says, "Oh, I just about got run over by a moose, a cow moose and 2 calves. We're only inches of running her over.
wow.
If it wasn't for the tree and the rock, she would have got run over."
And
yeah, that's when we go up to the Northeast, there's signs everywhere and they let you know more deaths are caused by people hitting moose than anything else. And so it's kind of crazy. And
Seen an elderly couple.
Huh?
Yeah, I seen an elderly couple. My husband and I were going to go shopping at the Walmart from our place, and it's a 40-minute drive. And the highway, one side of the highway was shut down. There was a van. The moose was sticking out. The front legs and the back legs were sticking out of the windshield. It had got hit, fell back, and went through the windshield. Yeah. It was an elderly couple that were killed, and their bulldog that was killed in the vehicle.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
absolutely
and
terrible.
That was a cow moose, and that's a small moose compared to a bull.
Right.
We figure the biggest bull is between 1,600 and 1,800 pounds here.
Well, I kind of figure what Jen's tracking. That I think that's got to be a bull, but
that is a bull moose. That is bull tracks.
Yeah,
that is bull tracks.
Those were big.
Well, I've got 2 different YouTube channels for some stupid reason. Because on my old phone, when I was taping, and then I got a new phone, I thought everything would have went over, and I don't know how it turned out, but I got videos from where my old phone is. When I took look at it, I don't know about your end, but I took a picture, like a video of, I walked up the hydro line by my house, and the moose track, I took pictures of the moose track, and from the hind leg to the front leg when it walks was an 8-foot span.
Wow. Woo. So Jen's finally in here. Jen, the big question is, did you get the moose?
No, she missed it. I missed my moose meat.
Oh,
No,
maybe-
that's
no, that was
Moose
Moose
Man.
Man. Yeah, that was Moose
Oh,
Man.
that was Moose Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a
no.
second.
Yeah. See, we can't hunt moose here right now. You have to go by. They changed it. Our ministry changed it, and you
The
got to get so
season.
many points before you get a tag for this area.
Mhm.
So nobody's been able to get a tag. So there's been no moose hunting here. You got to go up north to get a tag.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
frustrating when I got tons of moose in my yard.
Oh, she didn't go for it. I was so looking forward to a butcher video. Not gonna lie.
It would have been nice.
Yeah.
I was like, I have been like the last 24 hours, you know, because when I saw it, I don't know, yesterday afternoon or something like that. And I was like, oh, I hope she gets it. I hope she gets it. And so I've been thinking about that, couldn't get it off my mind. And I'm like, moose soup and stew and all kinds of goodies. So
Yeah, he
Oh
was
yeah, I
with
love
two
moose steak.
females.
My dad used to cook a moose steak, 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other side, slap it on your plate, and it was delicious.
oh, he likes
In a black
it.
skillet.
He likes it well done then, huh?
No, medium rare. I like the blood coming out of it.
That's a higher medium rare, 5 minutes. Usually about 3.5 to 4 minutes. So
Yeah. Depending on what temperature you're cooking it on too,
sure,
right?
that too. Yeah. That comes into
Oh,
it.
he always could cook moose. And then my mom at Christmas, my mom used to make, she's French. She used to call it her soup out. That's what she always called it. And all the cousins around the neighborhood would come at night on Christmas Eve and all dig in, play cards, play music, and eat this stew. She'd start early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. She'd put it on the back of the wood stove, and it had moose in it, deer in it, bear in it, rabbit in it, partridge in it, a little bit of beef and a little bit of pork in it. And then she'd put potatoes and onions, and she'd let that cook all day on real low. And then she'd put make a sauce in it, and everybody came all over to eat that. That was one of her famous things that she did.
Yeah.
But as for the recipe, my mom couldn't read or write. It was just all in her head, and she'd just do it. So that's the only way I learned, by watching.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'd like to.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think Cheryl Bear, she probably makes the best moose soup that or moose stew that I've ever tasted. And I'm looking forward to it. She cooks next week. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be so fat next week.
You know, it's funny, when we got it, that big 1,600-pound moose, when we got it, I did the gutting. I tried to climb in the chest cavity, to try and pull the lungs out, and I couldn't. So finally my husband went in, and because he's got a lot longer arms than I do, and he finally got in there to cut them and bring them out. But I could not pull and get in there and cut them. But I did everything else, and then I skinned it. That was fun. On a 6-foot ladder trying to skin a moose. Then I said to them, okay, here it goes, you guys. Plug your ears. I looked at them. I looked at the guys, because it was all the guys that were standing and watching me. And I'm cutting around their tools, I call it. And I turn around and I said, holy jumpins, they're smaller than a damn man. They're smaller than a damn cat. He's got none. Oh, he just...
Yeah. So Rabbit says, walk up by the grill and plop it on my plate. Done. And that's G. G likes his stuff bleeding. If it's not mooing, it is no good. So
yeah,
I love raw meat. So I'll eat meat raw if I have to.
Yeah, my brother used to say, cut the horns off, wipe its butt, and put it on my plate.
I know my husband used to tell my kids, and kids used to, and that's why I don't think that's why they'll eat liver. But one of the farmers, when he was a kid growing up, as soon as they slaughtered a hog, they hung it up, gutted it, hung it up. And as they were gutting it, the liver come out, and they slice a hot slice off, put salt on it, and chew her down every time.
Oh gosh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. We call that tartar here. So, but you just got to what season you get it and that kind of thing. So, but all right. So it looks like we got quite a few people in here. You guys ready to start? Are we all caught up?
You got the cards ready?
Yeah.
Oh, did y'all
Oh,
tell everybody?
do I do I gotta behave myself tonight?
No,
Yes.
no, because Tag has already screwed up. And so because Life Done Free is on restriction for 3 weeks, that means that we got free play for 3 weeks. So I don't think they'll grab us. When you start grabbing in the same group and that kind of thing, I think it raises red flags, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Wishful thinking. Who knows? So,
So does everybody know though to put in, like, there's magic words. If you say the magic word, you can get a free deck of cards. Did you say that already?
nope, I did not say that, but I'm laughing because I can't believe that you're calling them magic words. But so it's not
Magic mushroom.
Well, it's magic because they can surprise get a deck of cards.
Yeah, and so if you say these words, we're going to go ahead and do 2 decks tonight. And if you catch one of the words that's in there, I think we're still up to, let's see, we lost 2 last week. So I think we're at 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But we'll give away 2 because we're not going to overwhelm JD with that and that kind of thing. I don't want to take advantage, And so if you want them, I don't see Skeins in here. Northern Girl, Moose Man's pretty good and quick to. No, he didn't know how to do it. But we'll see. I have a link as well. And so you can go to my link and you can get them ordered. Let's see. I don't know. So if you don't win them, you can still get them. They're like $25, like not a big deal. And but with this one, when you win them from us, you also get a water straw with it. So you can drink from any creek, any lake, wherever. So you'll get those. You just need to be responsible enough to make sure that you email me. And you're going to do that at the Real Grumpy Acres. I did get my W. Good. You're welcome, Miss Man. And did you get the straw with it? Or did he forget?
Or was that before the straw started being included?
It might. I'm not sure, but just depends. So, and they may have stopped doing the straw. I don't know. I guess I need to talk to JD. I'll have Garen clarify that. And I like the magic words. LOL, Rabbit says. Yeah. Okay. So Moose Man says nothing else, and I think he just got his a couple weeks ago.
It feels like it, but it could. Everything. My weeks get blended
Yeah,
together.
it was about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So if it was just a couple of weeks ago, then Northern Girl Post Office is striking at the moment, though. Yeah, Northern Girl. That's what I know that, and that's what Lucy said. So she won a deck as well. We're holding that one back. And yeah, so if it was a couple of weeks ago, they may not be doing the straw anymore. So, but
yeah, because I know with the strike, a lot of the workers are.
If you get something extra, great. If you don't, then no big deal. So the cards themselves are just awesome to have. Opens up conversation. You really get to know people that are around you. So, but all right. So you guys ready to start?
Yeah.
All right, New American Civil War is where we're at. On June 18th, 2042, in the city of Seattle, Washington, during the Civil War, you are a skilled negotiator who has been captured by the enemy. They force you to call your faction's headquarters, demanding that you convince your superiors to surrender. If you refuse, they will execute your family, whom they have also captured. If you comply, you doom your faction and its cause. Do you save your family by betraying your faction or sacrifice your family for the greater good? Who's first?
Lucy, if she's paying attention.
Oh, no, my family's number one. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I would not sacrifice my family.
You're going to give up your entire group and your resources to save your family?
I the way I look at it, if I gave up my group, and if my group is as good as I think they are, they could overcome whatever comes at them. They're ready for anything, but I would never give up my family.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
Rabbit,
family's my
hang on.
family.
That's my devil's advocate. So hang on just a minute. But all right. So Little Miss Proper.
I was thinking the same thing, not give up my family. I mean, keep my family safe, so give up everybody else. But then also, so like last time or the time before, I told y'all I've been watching a lot of A-Team. And so that reminds me of I need to be like Face. And then because he of course has some sort of something going on and he can like pop with things. So then I need to be like Face and come up with something and save my family and my group at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like on the A-Team, so I'll save my family.
All right. So so devil's advocate here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go here. I would love nothing more than to be able to save my family. But the facts are, if you look at even, just go to today and you look at those negotiations when somebody's been kidnapped, they've got your family, that kind of thing, you're being blackmailed or whatever, right? The family inevitably, how many of the kidnapped kids do you actually get back, right? The people and that kind of thing. You're going to die. They don't like you. You're a tool for them to manipulate and try and manipulate your group. My group, and trust me, I love these people to death. They'd be like, okay, see ya. And we've got your families back. And so I think I would just say, screw you. I'm going to die anyway. If I make this happen, you're going to kill me. Probably 9 times out of 10, I would think that my group is going to be able to keep my family safe. I think I would just say, screw you, give them the middle finger and take one for the team. So, but we all grew up different, right? So I don't know. But there's my answer.
But it's also depending on what family, because I got my immediate family, and then I got my other half side of the family that I couldn't care less about. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm gonna say that they're gonna get you where it hurts. It's gonna be kids. It's going to be your children, your grandchildren. Yeah. They know you're a negotiator, right? So they've already done research. They know who you are and they know who you're tight with. And so they're just going to take out or figure they're going to threaten you with what matters most to you. And
yeah, so you're right.
It would be safer for me to die than for me to cave in and compromise my entire group. I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, we will protect our family here at home. Yeah. So then that's what I'm saying. So, Northern Girl, she's not the negotiator. So let's just say we were all in the same group and I was the negotiator. And so if I'm going out there and I'm doing that and I've got children I'm leaving behind and family and that kind of thing, I think that, hopefully we created the community and the fellowship that we truly thought we had, and they would have my family's back. At this point, if I've been taken, like I know with my immediate group right now, if they knew that I was taken, everybody would already be in protection. So they wouldn't even have my kids. So.
Yeah.
That's what you call a community.
Yeah.
And your backup plan after backup plan after backup plan.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Those are important.
You got your A to Z plans.
Yep. All right. Let's go straight into government. Oh, Northern Girl says she is the negotiator. I just don't have children. Wait for the next video. Oh boy. She's gonna be very
She's gonna be good.
Oh gosh. All right. So
she's
now
the lady.
Now we're going to go scenario 25 in government. On April 20th, 2029, in the desolate remains of Atlanta, Georgia, the government has enacted a policy requiring all citizens to attend weekly indoctrination sessions designed to instill loyalty and obedience to the state. Your family has always valued independent thinking and critical discussion. Do you openly defy the policy and refuse to attend the sessions, risking severe consequences for your family, or do you comply with the mandate? knowing that it will undermine your family's values and intellectual freedom. I'm gonna let you guys take that. It's kind of sort of in a way. Already been there, already done that.
No, I won't comply. I won't. No. When it comes to government, I have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
I would not listen to them. I do what I want.
Yeah. I'm that way as well. But what was the thing? If you don't comply, what happens?
So, risking severe consequences for your family, or yeah. So, do you openly defy the policy and refuse to attend the sessions, risking severe consequences for your family? Or do you comply with the mandate, knowing that it will undermine your family's values and intellectual freedom?
Yeah, not comply.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really give you risk here, like what you're risking and what the consequences are going to be. But this is kind of like what we go on all the time, right? And so, in fact, we have a big meeting on the 12th next week. Ashley, I'm just going to let you know. I think that's on a Thursday, right? So today is the second 10 days. I think it is Thursday. I will not be on the 12th. So
Okay.
we got to go fight those damn commissioners and everybody else. So they're trying to sneak stuff in at the end of the year. But there's consequences coming. It just depends on what the consequences are. And, there's only so much that they can do. And here's the reality of it. And this is what I'm saying. If there's a million of us and there's only 6 of them, 20 of them, whatever, what makes them think they're really going to make us pay for anything? We just need to stand up. We just need to not, don't be so compliant, just say no. So yeah, like Echo says, weigh the pros and cons of it, just kind of figure it out. It just, sometimes it's not worth just laying down and taking it. So my thought anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Scenario 16, World War III. You and your group have taken shelter in an underground bunker in New York City during a nuclear winter of February 12, 2030. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I don't know why the hell you'd be there anyway. In the midst of World War III. Suddenly, the bunker's air filtration system breaks down and the air becomes toxic. Your group figures out how to fix it, but it will take some time. You have a limited supply of oxygen tanks, but there are more people in your group than tanks. Everyone wants to live, but 3 people will perish due to the lack of oxygen. Whom do you choose to save and whom do you sacrifice for the greater good? How do you justify your decision?
I think age. I mean, yeah, you do need to keep the younger ones because, I mean, it's just like they're your future also. But also, you need to be able to have certain ones that can take care of those littler ones until they're older. Yeah, like Rabbit said, sorry, old bastards are going to die.
But what if that's your knowledge? What if all your knowledge is there?
See, right? That's when you pick your ones that, I mean, because you need to have someone to teach the younger ones. Yes. And so you need to have like your knowledge people that can teach the little ones, but also then get the ones out that you really don't need. I mean, not everybody's going to have good knowledge to even pass along.
Sure. Okay.
Oh my goodness, these dogs.
My crooked little homestead, what you got?
Yes to some of the younger ones, but if you've got ones that, I don't know, it would be half and half to me, depending on The older ones, middle-aged, depending on what knowledge, what they can bring to the group once the group is survived, back what they have and what they can bring. Your younger generation, excuse me, younger generation people. Nowadays, the government's got them brainwashed, so they don't have very good knowledge of anything, survival, you name it. Not around here, anyways. That's for sure in my country. So it would be I would survive the middle age to the older age, because the middle age could always reproduce. You know what I mean? And if just the ones, I would survive the ones with the knowledge. And what that one's a hard one. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
If you go back to your risk assessment, and so I did see somebody said something, this is why you have your bunker prepared and that kind of thing, so that you're ready to deal with this. I think it was Northern Girl. And so I agree with that. You should already have that stuff in there and in place.
Yeah, he's right.
It's New York City, and so they're stupid anyway. They're all living there and making themselves broke, the whole 9 yards. The one thing that I would also say, because there was another comment in here about the spoiled, most people have the spoiled mentality, that kind of thing. Yes and no. I think that there are people, and especially, this movement for homesteading and self-preparedness and, that kind of thing, it's moving along. People are figuring it out. If you don't know how to preserve food, and especially if you're in a bunker for a reason, if you're talking nuclear war, which obviously you can't open something up because of something that is compromised outside, that kind of thing. If you're doing all of that, I mean, you really didn't have your preps in order anyway. Is that somebody that I would say, I don't know, but you also know your risk assessment, right? So you're doing that, and you have the law 3, right? 3 days of no water, 3 weeks of no food, and 3 minutes without oxygen. Is it going to suck? It's going to suck. But you do your math real quick, and you run it through everybody, and everybody gets that oxygen tank, and then get a good deep breath and no oxygen for 3 minutes, and you just keep going and rotate that. My opinion there, is it ideal? Of course not. But, I don't know. That is a thing. So
Lifesaver, maybe.
Without nuclear war. You what?
I said lifesaver, maybe.
Yeah.
Doing it that way.
Yeah. I mean, you just try, and God's going to take those that are expected to be taken anyway. Not, I guess what I'm saying is that I don't want to have to be the one to choose who lives and dies. Let's still leave that in God's hands. Let's know what the rule of 3 is and figure it out from there, right? So I don't know. Hey,
Wouldn't that be just like when you're in scuba diving with somebody and their tank runs out, or their tank, something happens, and you're taking from mouth to theirs to you, back and forth till you guys
correct
make it to the surface?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So what she says, she can't what? I won't succumb to bunker. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have your preps in order and that kind of thing, and you have your safety and all of that stuff already taken care of. I grew up military, so we had to do the drills for bombings, and we had to do all that stuff. So I've got that taken care of. That has been drilled in my brain since I was a kid, baby. And so I've got all that, and anybody my age, I'm sure, that has gone through the same thing. Because, well, I did do military schools, but on the military base, but they were still public schools. I'm just assuming that all of that is the same. So, you're learning that. I wouldn't do a bunker either. And this is why we have iodide tablets. So if there's a nuclear war, we've got the tablets available that we can start taking those, and we won't succumb to the radiation poisoning. So they're not expensive. They're easy to get a hold of. not an affiliate of forpatriots.com, but I do know that forpatriots.com does have a supply of those. They used to. And I think it's maybe, trying to think, it's $7.50, $15 maybe at the most per dose per person. And then do your research, because the younger that the children are, the dose is different. So you need to make sure that you do your research on that. But yeah, Northern Girl says bunker for a limited time only. Yeah. But yeah, no, we've got it under control. In fact, at Thanksgiving, the kids were up here and the grandbabies, and I'm like, oh, we need to pull those tablets out, because they're talking next time we won't see each other is till Christmas. But and I have tablets for everybody. And so I think I'm going to go ahead, and I do have extras. I think I'm going to go ahead and take a set down to their house. And then that way they have them and they can start taking them on their way up here. So yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We are set with that. You bet. Yeah. Yeah. Just something to think about, it's not iodine. And so I know a lot
It's
of people
iodide.
say iodide with a D-E. And so that's something to have on hand, especially now that they're like, we're going to call your bluff and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we'll definitely be in World War III and they're talking nuclear attacks and that kind of thing. I don't know, but you never know. Better
to be safe than sorry.
Correct. Yes.
Hey, we're preppers. We need to prep it.
Yeah. Yeah. Rabbit. Thank you. Potassium iodide. Yeah. And so Echo, I'm old. I most likely do what's necessary for the rest to thrive. My dad says that all the time. I'm like, hey, I got your tablets. I got everything here. You guys need to figure out how to get down here. And dad and Linda both, they're like, oh, we're too old. We're just going to bend over and kiss our butts goodbye. But it would be really sad to lose that knowledge. Yes, we have a relationship and that would be sad too. But the knowledge, like my dad, if I'm confused about something or I need a sounding board and just somebody that is alternate, right? Not invested in what is going on. I can talk to my dad and he guides me that way. And he just says, okay, here's the pros, here's the cons. Think about this, think about that, and that kind of thing. And if it wasn't for him, we'd have never invested in EMP Shield. We'd have never done it. And my dad happened to be sitting there and he was listening to it. We were all sitting around a campfire and we're listening to the pitch. And my dad leaned over and he said, if you don't invest in this company and help get this company started, he said, it'll be the biggest mistake you ever make. Oh, and wow. I was like, so you would take your life savings and you would do that? And he said, absolutely. And I said, okay. And there was no guarantee. We could have lost our butts. Mm-hmm. But, no, it's taken up. We're doing real good. So, but, so Rabbit makes a good point here. It only helps with the 131 radiation, though, that it affects the thyroid gland. Potassium iodide floods the thyroid instead of the radiation flooding. I'm not sure what that means. If you're over 50, don't really need to worry. I kind of feel like that's what it's going to be. But anybody that's compromised with thyroid anyway, I would suggest you do it. Better safe than sorry. And I don't think they will annihilate everything because the one thing they want is our land. So I think they're going to try to figure out how to make everybody sick and die before they destroy everything. And they're already like, oh, thanks, Northern Girl. They're already like doing weird crap. We have the next pandemic coming out already. And so they're talking about it. I don't know. Yeah. Mainly to protect younger peeps from the radiation effects of thyroid cancer. Correct. So still something good to have on hand is what I would count on. So anyway. All right. So are we good there? We're ready to go to another one?
Yes.
Let's do
Yep.
one of my favorites. We're going to go to bank run, and we'll do scenario 2. On July 1st, 2032 in Boston, Massachusetts, you were one of the most respected bankers in the country. As your bank CEO, you discover a massive accounting scandal in your company, which would amount to be one of the biggest cases of fraud in the history of your country. Whew. Do you come forward risking a bank run and personal repercussions, or cover up potentially resulting in a large fallout in the future? Let you girls take this one. You know my education history, so.
Yes.
I would report it and take the consequences. Because if I was to cover up and later on down the road for the consequences to happen or for it to come out or whatever, it's going to eat me alive inside of what I'm knowing what went on and, you know, what was going on and everything. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Hogs is like,
I'd have no hair left. My eyeballs would be hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd report it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hint, Little Miss Prepper, sound familiar? Hogs.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought actually as you was reading it, I was like, huh.
Yeah.
It does. But actually even Hogs even said I would have poured it anonymously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually a good idea.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would definitely report it. In personal, like mine was not like going to take down America or anything like that. But when I started noticing some things and that kind of thing, let's say that bank is no longer in existence and went out, but you definitely report it. And so that is, I'm going to say this as of right now, that is the only way that you're going to save yourself from repercussions. And so I was lucky in the fact that they actually gave me a 3-month severance package. So I was like, thank you. And then after that, then I got my unemployment. And so, you know, one of the repercussions is I will never be able to work for another bank, but it not with them on my resume. And I know that because I sat in the interviews and I saw the looks on their faces when they saw my resume, and I knew. I was like, time for a new career. I just got to start all over again.
That's right.
But so there are those kind of repercussions. But again, if we're prepared and we can go through those hard times and do all of that, you know, no paycheck and that kind of thing, and you learn some side hustles and do all of that, then what's the big deal? Just be honest and save yourself from going down with the ship, right? Because that is what's going to happen, especially if they find out that you know what you know and you didn't say anything, you're going down with the ship, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, you know, and I had an experience where I was 3.5 years at this job, and it was to the point where I wasn't getting a paycheck and I wasn't getting a paycheck. I saw stuff going on that I didn't like. And you know what? I said to myself, no, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not, you know what? I walked away from it. I wrote a nice letter, put the keys in. I had a lot of responsibility, put the keys in the envelope, put it on the desk, gave it to them. And it's a letter of my resignation. I've never, ever got fired from a job. Any job that I've ever done is, and there was content, like things that I seen happen or was happening. I walked away. I didn't like it. Didn't feel comfortable. I walked away, went and started another job someplace else.
Yeah. Echo nailed it. If I know about it and don't say anything, I'm nothing less than an accomplice. And so
that's right.
That's a fact. You're hurting people. And so, you know, why do it? It just goes against everything in my bones. So I don't know. All right. So we got that one covered. Let's go to pandemic scenario 28. And so was that enough drama for you?
Yeah.
On March 1st, 2029, in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, a mysterious, highly contagious disease is spreading rapidly. You discover that your closest friend has been infected and is unknowingly spreading the disease to others. Reporting them to the authorities would likely result in their isolation and probable death, but doing nothing means more people will be infected. Do you betray your friend to save others, or do you remain silent, causing more infections and deaths?
I would report, because if they're my real friends, I don't want to get infected. Because I would infect my family. You know what I mean? And like you say, like it says, if it's not reported, it's going to kill more and more and more innocent people. I would yeah, I would report them.
That's interesting.
Uh-oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
I'll save it. Go ahead,
Kidnap them and lock them in their own place and throw away the key.
You said you would? You would do that?
Yeah, kidnap them. Put them somewhere, lock them up where they can't then go walking around, and then it's not like they're not exposing everybody, but then you're not turning them in either.
Sure. And M says put them in solitary.
Yeah, that's what I think. But my way is more dramatic. I'm kidnapping them to put them in solitary.
You'd have to knock them out to do that.
M says slide food under the door.
Yeah.
Y'all just see, this is what I hear. If you give enough years, enough time after an incident, people will forget. And most likely through history, in fact, they will go back to the same pattern, same behavior. So let me remind you, 2020, during the first pandemic, the first strain that came through, China, so this goes to the isolation, kidnapping them, locking them up, doing all that. China actually nailed in and screwed in prisons in the doors.
I remember that now.
Now you remember, right?
Yes.
And so they wouldn't let them out of the house. People were starving to death, that kind of thing, because you could not slide food underneath, underneath the door, because the virus was so, or disease at that time, it was so deadly. You know, nobody wanted to do that. People were shoved at gunpoint. People were killed, all of that. We had a government that literally told us all that who was an essential worker, who was not an essential worker, and we needed to isolate ourselves in our homes. And we had almost an economic disaster. In fact, something we're still trying to crawl through and get better with. I don't know. I think that I would do my research and I would find out what the symptoms are first, just like I did before in the first one. And I would find out what's really going on. Is this nothing more than a flu? You have to remember, these pharmaceutical companies, they're huge. They've taken over a lot of stuff. We can't even get natural medicine now without them being involved. There's huge scandals going on. There's all kinds of crap going on. They're taking medicine that has been known to be, no side effects, and it cures a lot of stuff. And they're taking that off the market because it's going to kill you. You can't believe anybody. And so, do your own research on this. YouTube, I'm saying it. Do your own research. This is my opinion only. The host here does not necessarily agree with my comments, nor do they back them. This is my opinion. And when we're on my channel, it's my opinion. And so opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one. So there's that. Fact check what you want. I'm not liable. Don't strike me. So, but yeah, so that's kind of my position on that. It's just we have to remember what's happened in history. And, as Americans, as the human race, we're really good about forgetting, aren't we? We forget about those details and we just kind of move on and recreate the same situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, M says it's the only way to be sure. I'm still not going to hold somebody against their will and lock them in. I'm just not going to do it. And, I'm telling you, okay, so I'm pretty sure I never got tested. I'm pretty sure that I had the C, And it was at Christmas. It was actually 2019 Christmas. We were all together,
Me
and
too.
someone was sick, and then we started going through this. And I felt like I was going to die. And I literally did. I cried on the couch and I couldn't move and I couldn't eat. The freaking dog was getting into the potato bin because we had harvested the potatoes, and she felt like I needed to eat. So she was bringing me a potato and literally putting it on the couch for me to eat. And I was getting so frustrated. And I told Garen, like, pick the potatoes up off the ground. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm like done. But the dog was telling me. And so remember, what is it? You starve a cold, feed the flu. And so, I was like, huh. And I kind of put two and two together, and I'm like, man, that dog is so damn smart. And so, coincidence, I don't know. But dogs, when they're your dogs, they usually do know more about you than almost you know about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so kind of figured that one out. And that's why we had the flu buster suit now, and we've got, that kind of thing. And so I make that myself, and then those recipes are available. I think Flu Buster is actually on our community page. I had permission to share that. And so yeah, I just don't know. I'm not locking anybody up. I'm not turning anybody in. I'm not doing that. We don't even do that around here for bird flu and backyard flocks. I mean, why would you? Why would you do that? You're just causing more concern. You're causing more betrayal. You're causing more, just massive panic that is not necessary. I just don't, I don't know. My opinion, like I said. So I am a look at the flowers type of person. I didn't believe crap in 2020. Should have kept the energy for the cards. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The cards were written before 2020, so I'm not quite sure I understand that right. But hogs, I would hate to get one of those diseases like the one in Africa that's non-curable. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'll have to ask G about that. I haven't heard anything on that one. So let's start here. Ready to go on to natural disasters?
Sure.
All right. So scenario 16. On August 20th, 2036, a destructive tornado ravages the small town of Norton, Kansas. As medical doctor, you find yourself torn between tending to the multitude of injured town residents and searching for your own missing family members. Do you prioritize your profession, duty, or your personal concern? So anybody that doesn't have nursing background, doctor background, that kind of thing, you're literally held by law to, so I'm just going to put this in here. You're held by law to be where you're supposed to be posted. So keep that in mind as you answer this, but also keep in mind, this is after crap's hit the fan. There's no rule of law. It echoes like you took an oath, right? Yeah.
You go, little pepper.
I was reading rabbits. You go by the toe tags and the triage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Oh, and then also going off of that, Rabbit put some something virus, Marburg virus.
That's what I think that's the virus in Africa. Just by it going by those questions. And Echo says my bestie was a veteran before she got MS. We knew it was a fluff. So
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, so Moose Man's got a point here. He would alert first responders to check on his family.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Or wouldn't you build a community so that you knew that your family was taken care of, so that you were taking care of everyone? You guys.
Yes.
Well, wouldn't if it, like for a tornado, like I watch Ryan Hall a lot, and he lets people know, people let other people know, whatever, where there's going to be tornadoes. Our Canadian weather crap stuff, I tried to do the same thing to see if there was tornadoes in our area or what was going on, but they said they're not equipped as United States, as Ryan Hall and all them in United States, so they can't tell us if there's a tornado actually going to hit us or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's why that's put on there. Like, they do that for people to be prepared. If there's going to be severe storms or anything in your area, if you're alert and watching, you'd have your family prepared and in a safe place,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And
That's
then
why we have
you know
storm
that they're protected. What's that?
Well, that's why we have storm shelters here in the Midwest.
That's
So
right. And you know your family's protected. So then it's not your obligation as a doctor or, nurse or whoever, paramedic or whatever, to go out and help the injured and help, your family's safe. You're going to make you and your family safe. Like here, like my husband says, when we get tornado warnings here, we have nowheres to go. So what we do, we've got this big, huge RV in there and we strap ourselves each in a seat. So if it's going to take it and fly, we're going to fly with.
Bad idea, Lucy. You need to find a ditch. Find a ditch. You don't want to be in the
I am building a root cellar. I'm going to have a wall of peony and a root cellar kind of together, but it'll be like almost similar to a storm shelter that I can go into if there's anything. So, but that's what we do. When we had our last big, where they said, because we have a lot of big pine trees around our cabin, they could crush down on us at any time. And as soon as there's real bad storms, the power goes out. My husband says, okay, grab your purse, grab whatever you need. And away we go. And we lock ourselves into the RV because it's so big and huge and heavy. Right. And we tie ourselves into the seat belts and we sit and watch everything in front of us.
Like, I'm cringing right now. Everybody, if you have tornadoes in your area, if you get the warnings, do not do that.
Do what I do.
Don't do that. In fact, we actually have warnings here, and they let you know if you're in a trailer, a mobile home, or anything like that, you're to get out of that and seek shelter immediately. Like, we've seen some really bad crap here. Like, my son, he's a police officer in Joplin, and Joplin, man, it about wiped out the entire town. And so, just absolutely terrible and devastating. And so, I would rather find a ditch and take my chances in a ditch than I would in a mobile RV. I just wouldn't do it. My choice. But, we're also the type of people that, if we're in a tornado watch, we go outside and we actually watch. So we want to see what's coming for us. And we're like, I think that, is so G and I are out there, and G will just be like, look, it's a redneck thing. You just grab a beer, go sit on the porch and you watch. And then we get into a tornado warning. And so this was just last year when we had the tornado in our backyard. And so we're out there watching, and I looked and I told him, I said, there's a funnel cloud. Oh my gosh, that's a funnel cloud. And he goes, how can you see that? And I'm like, look, the lightning is purple. When it comes up, you'll see the funnel cloud. And he's like, no. And I said, yes. And so then, so I'm like, I'm going inside, and we got softball sized hail. It missed the house, but we got the damage from, outside. So it'll do damage inside the storm itself. And then just on the outside, it will do other damage. So trust me, nobody likes softball sized hail on their trucks, vehicles, and roofs. It sucks.
Yeah. And of course, I know with our hurricanes, they spin off tornadoes with them.
Yeah.
And growing up, I remember hearing, if you're on the road and there's a tornado, find an underpass where it has the arch. You can walk up to all the way to the top. But down here, they don't make them much anymore like that because the homeless go and sleep those. Yeah. I only know of one underpass that is still like that.
Yeah. We don't have them here either. And in fact, my son and I were talking about that because we were on the road, and I think we were coming back from the kids, and there was some tornado warnings and that kind of thing. And I said, "Oh, don't worry." I said, "Dad and I will just pull underneath the underpass, and it'll be fine." And or the overpass. And I said, "It'll be fine." And he just like freaked out, and he's like, "No, don't do that." So apparently, because of the way they're constructing them now, when the tornado comes, it literally just sucks you out from underneath there.
Yeah,
So,
Rabbit just said, no, 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 stay
Yeah.
away from wind tunnels.
yeah. Which I get, I never got it before, but I totally get it, because when we go to co-op and I have to fill up on feed, like I have to be diligent and let the guys know, shut the door. You got to shut the door, because it's the only way I can keep lining in the feed to actually go into the vehicle. Otherwise, the wind is just blowing it everywhere. It's terrible, terribly cold, terribly windy. So I get it now. But that's what my son, he's like, "No, Mom, don't do that."
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And of course, here you just biggest thing is if you're in a mobile home or some bad shelter, go into a better shelter and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Moose Man mentioned earlier, go into the centermost home piece of your home, or getting in the bathtub and put a
mattress. Yeah.
mattress
over. Yeah. Yeah. Try doing that with a old German Shepherd who's hurt, and then, trying to get everybody in. Cause I was like, we had insulation. So stupid. We were using the storm shelter for storage. And so I couldn't get the dogs in, and I couldn't get in. And G definitely was not going to get in there. And so G's like, "You go get the dogs in, and you get in there." And I open up the freaking door, and there's insulation everywhere. And I'm like, okay, so do we lose hundreds and hundreds of dollars in insulation, or what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "All right, you're going to go to the bathtub. You're going to pull a mattress. You're going to get everybody in there. Here's what you're going to do, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, okay. And so that was our plan, but we didn't end up doing it. We just topped it out, and it was fine. And luckily, by the grace of God, we were saved. So, but anyway, so Rabbit says, "I drink a lot, but I do know things. LOL. Rabbit, you totally missed it. I drink a lot, so I know things." That's how it goes. But there's so many t-shirts running around the Midwest.
Shows his brain's well preserved.
Huh?
His brain is well preserved. His brain is well preserved.
No worms there, I tell you that. Oh God. All right, let's go to economic collapse. Yeah. All right. Scenario. Huh? Oh, I thought somebody
I didn't say anything.
Scenario 7. In 1997, the Asian financial crisis hit South Korea, forcing the government to implement harsh austerity measures. You're a union leader in Seoul, and your members are facing mass layoffs and wage cuts. The government threatens to imprison you if you lead a strike, but your members depend on you to fight for their rights. Ugh. Do you risk your freedom to stand up for your fellow workers, or do you back down to ensure your own safety? This is interesting. I'm kind of feeling like we can actually just take ourselves out of South Korea and that kind of thing. What we could do is just look at what happens with union strikes here in America and how that's dealt with, and what do you do? Because there's consequences for crossing a picket line, right?
Yeah. I know our strike here that's going on now, they've actually laid a bunch of employees off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That one's kind of difficult.
Yeah. Well, that's why I try to kind of just like I kind of made it relative, right? So, because it's
Northern Girl can relate to this because of that big freedom thing in Ottawa, here in Canada.
Sure.
She was there. She could relate to that, and how the leaders, fought and were fighting and fighting. They ended up in jail and everything, but you know what? They're out and everything. But now, they made a point. They stood up for
they did.
all the other people.
They froze their bank accounts. They did all kinds of stuff. We had U.S. citizens up in diesel trucks that couldn't move, couldn't do anything, couldn't get out of the country, the whole 9 yards. Just absolutely ridiculous. Like our government was just as complicit in that as Canada. They were going to win, and so I kind of wonder. But they didn't. I kind of wonder if they didn't have a backdoor deal, and I think I know
our government's been sued. Yeah, you never know, but I know our government is still being sued, and some of them went through.
Yeah.
But that that shows you, like, if you're a leader or you're fighting for your freedom. No matter what, you're going to fight for everybody's freedom that wants, freedom and that believes in it. You're going to fight for it.
Yeah.
And like you say, Yoda, like Tag says, the bigger the group, it's going to make a difference.
The bigger the group, the bigger difference it's going to make. And, you need, that's why we say all the time, you need more than one seat, one butt in the seat, fill the entire room. We've actually forced our local government to the point now they've had to change rooms where they have the meetings. They've had to pull out a lot more chairs. They had to buy a podium with a microphone, a sound system, the whole 9 yards. There's that many people in there. They had to get extremely professional and do these meetings right. And that's what I'm telling you. And I know that Indiana and MMR will get film on Thursday. It's not this Thursday. It's next week.
Next Thursday.
And but I know that there will be film on that. Go and watch it, and you'll see. Sheriff's Department will be there. So, and they're concerned about people. We're making a difference. The Sheriff's Department, trust me, they're there. They are not standing up and backing us. They are not there for us.
No, they're there thinking,
they're being played by the other one.
Yep. Well, no, what's funny about
because
that,
you guys got them running
paid by our taxes. And so they're getting paid by our taxes. But because somebody is in somebody's pocket and that kind of thing, then all of a sudden, oh, well, can you show it? They carry guns. They've got camera equipment, and they speak their mind, and they do this and they do that. And
you've got them running scared. You got them running with their tails between their legs.
Well, the funny thing is, we're not even the violent ones. They are. You see, Lucy, if you're watching them, if you're watching those videos, you've seen them literally throw temper tantrums and stand up, pounding the table and doing all of that. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
They're worse than a bunch of kids.
Yes.
They get a tantrum fit for their age.
Because they're spoiled. They're spoiled. They're from the Democrat city. They're coming from Topeka, and they think that they're going to come in, pretend they're a good old boy system, and they're going to run this as a good old boy system and not run it the way that the government should be run.
And nobody checks up on them. Nobody checks up on them to see if they're doing the job right.
And now all of a sudden, and now all of a sudden we are, and we're the bad people. So Yup. But I'll take my licking. I don't care. So can't do nothing to me. I can control myself, so I don't have to get nasty.
I think if I go in there and smile, I'll just scare them all.
No, you got to remember this is Kansas. You're not gonna scare anybody. So
that's funny.
Oh God. Yeah, if you've ever been in the Midwest, you would totally understand. I mean, it just is what it is. And especially now times are tough too. So, times are tough. People can't just go in and get, it's more liberal people. They go in and get their veneers and, whitening their teeth and doing all that. I just like a good old fashioned charcoal brush and that kind of thing. But it does fine for me. But if you're not doing drugs, teeth are mostly heritage of your family and that kind of thing. So you just kind of see how that stuff, bone density and that whole 9 yards. So
and TMJ is too. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Oh, Garen has to get a bite guard And so he went back to the dentist. He's got a crown. He's trying to get that fixed and all of that. Had to go see a different dentist so we weren't getting ripped off. Trying to figure out what we're going to do with the last dentist and that kind of thing. But yeah, he's got to get a mouth guard. And
The last time I was,
Go ahead.
the first time and last time I was to a dentist was quite a few years ago. They fixed my teeth and everything. But when they did the x-rays on my jaw, when I open and close, my whole jaw shifts this way an eighth of an inch.
That's
you got TMJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
my
mouth guard
mom
will
has
fix
it
that,
too.
Lucy. Yeah. You just sleep with the mouth guard in. And
I bite the side of my mouth so many times.
well, and that's
Frustrating.
so the mouth guard helps protect that. So you wear it when you're sleeping only. And then so when you're sleeping, it just kind of trains your jaw and your mouth, and that kind of thing.
When I was a kid and played hockey, I used to wear mouth guards in my mouth all the time. Maybe I'll do that. Get a hockey mouth guard.
It's interesting you say that. So when I was doing karate and all that stuff, constantly had a mouth guard in my mouth, and because you're sparring, you're doing that kind of thing. And it was weird because as an adult, that's when they were like, hey, you got TMJ. So I'm just not sure, like maybe in the 70s and 80s, we didn't do that. You know how you have to boil it and then you bite into it and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if we just didn't do it right or what, but I always thought that was weird. But yeah, I get tired.
Well, I know the new mouth guards now for hockey players and stuff, because my grandkids wear them when they play, especially my grandson that's in contact sports.
Yeah.
They have them molded to their teeth and their jaw frame.
Yeah.
The shape of their jaw, they get them specially molded so that it's always, their mouth is always the same. Their teeth and everything is set all the same all the time.
Yeah. Brian's like, if you need teeth removed, it's much cheaper to start a bar fight and get them knocked out than to go to the dentist. Not here. I wouldn't do that.
No.
If my teeth start getting loose, I just tie a string on it, tie it. My dad used to, when I was a kid, when I was losing my baby teeth, Dad, I got a loose one. He said, okay, I'll fix it. And he'd tie a string on it, take the string and tie it to a door handle. And he said, hang on. And I braced myself when he'd slam the door shut and out come the tooth.
Yeah. Rabbit's even, he sent the laughy face. Oh, he says he agrees. Oh, that's interesting. So that's very interesting. I definitely, in the Ozarks, I would not do that. There is such thing as called Ozark Mafia. And it's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. You may not, your body may not be found. I guess it would be cheaper. You wouldn't have to go to the dentist. So
yeah. And I know as I'm getting older, it is getting worse, my TMJ. Yeah. And my parents spent a lot of money on my teeth to help prevent it. But I didn't wear my mouth guard after I got my braces and everything off like I was supposed to. And my teeth kept shifting. And now I tell my mom I need braces again.
Ooh.
Yeah. My teeth on the top are crooked a bit.
Not good. Not good. What have you thought about maybe just going and getting a retainer? I'm surprised you didn't get one after the braces anyway.
I did. I was just forgot to put it in sometimes.
Oh.
And then after a while I lost it. And then just
Yeah. That's, I don't know.
I just let my teeth fall out and then I'll have gums and I can gum up the works after. That's what I tell my husband. His teeth are all gone.
I know.
He can gum up the works.
2 people who know that used to eat steaks with just gums. Then I'm like, man, how are they?
My husband does. My husband does. His gums are so hard he can even bite into an apple.
Man.
Okay, let's go to the next topic. I went to such a bad
I can imagine what she's thinking. I can imagine what she's going to turn red as her lips. Look at her go. Look how red she's getting. She's got a dirty mind, that girl. Oh, she's got a dirty mind.
I was actually thinking about something that an old roommate had said. Like she
No.
was dating a guy, and he was young too. He was only in his early 20s, and so she was dating this guy, and she actually ended up marrying him. And I'm like, why the hell are you marrying him? And she so you don't understand. And I was like, I looked at her and I go, you're right, I don't understand. And so she starts explaining to me, and I was like, holy hell, I did not need to know that. Stop. And so anyway, was like immediately where my mind went. That was terrible.
Brought it all back to you.
Oh my god. Okay, let's go to the next question.
God, we're good.
Okay. Let's go to
She's getting excited. She's getting excited.
No, I'm calming down. Stop. Terrorism, violence, and thought crimes. God, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. That was funny.
Laughter's good for the soul.
It is. All right. Scenario 2 of terrorism, violence, and thought crimes. All right. In the wake of a devastating cyber attack on November 9th, 2028, the electoral grid in New York City has been crippled, causing a massive citywide blackout. Fearing the unrest that night that might follow, the government has confiscated all privately owned generators. You own a generator that you've managed to keep hidden, but your elderly neighbor with critical medical equipment needs power to survive. Would you risk exposing your generator to keep your neighbors alive or protect your own family's interests?
I don't know. That one's kind of tricky as well, because I want to be able to help, but also I don't want to lose that generator and then my family be out of it.
I didn't hear a word she said. I was being distracted.
Stop reading the comments. So
no, I wasn't.
Okay.
I can't see the comments. No, my husband woke up. I muted because he was asking me something.
Gotcha. Okay, so basically, the government is confiscating all generators. They need them all. And you have one, but you know that a neighbor is in critical health conditions, needs the generator. So do you expose your generator to help the neighbor, or do you comply and you hand your generator over?
Oh, I don't hand my generator over. Nobody gets it. And if there's somebody that I know of that's critically, I would take it to that and help that person.
Mm-hmm.
Government
But
don't need
also-
any help.
And also, though, if you take your generator over there, that is almost exposing your generator, and you could possibly get that generator taken from you.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
I would
But
try
there's ways around it.
see if I could get that person to move in with me, and then where I could still keep my generator hidden, and then maybe they could use it.
All right. So here's what I would say. So this is where propane generators come in really handy dandy. And then you have a backup to a backup to a backup. And so we've got the propane generator. It's on a concrete pad, but it has a pipeline. And so they're really not taking it. And they have no way to use it. You have to do the propane, but that's why they want to get rid of propane, right? So that you have no way to do that. But we also have the gasoline generators. So if I had to give something, they can't see 3 or 4 of them. So let's hand over one of them, the oldest one. Here you go.
Hand over the shitty one.
Huh?
Hand over the shitty one. I got 3 generators here.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 gas, and I have a 6,500 watt propane that's in that big RV, and nobody knows it's in there.
Yep.
Well, now they do.
Well, I mean,
I opened my mouth
seriously, who's recording this? We're lucky we have the viewers we have now.
Earlier, as you was reading, Hogs 14 put a comment on there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Lip smacking good.
Yeah, I saw that. I was trying to ignore that.
Well, there you go.
Terrible. No, I guess I started that one. I didn't mean to. Actually, I did. The old ribbit. Oh, careful, you're gonna get me snorting. I don't want to do that. All right, so let's go to religion. Scenario 13. On November 23rd, 2031, in the remnants of Las Vegas, Nevada, you encounter a large, well-equipped religious community that offers to take in women and children from your group, but not the men. As the group leader, do you split up your group, ensuring safety for some, or keep everyone together facing the harsh environment? Now, remember, this is during without rule of law. So you're in harsh times here. So make your decisions smart.
I'd say no, keep everyone together. And who knows what this religious group is doing or saying or whatever. And also,
could be a cult. You don't know.
Yeah. And also, Yoda, I have you in the back of my head saying your community. And you have your community.
You should be. You're prepared. If you're a community, your group, you would be prepared for hard times. You'd be there for one another. Why do they only want the women and children? If they're a cult, you don't know that, right?
Right.
Moose Man said they may be children eaters.
Well, I think the first thing that pops out of my head is that they're a very well-equipped group. And there's a reason for that. And so, I've always not being nasty, not going back to anything terrible. It would be whatever the women decided they wanted to do. But you need to remember, during hard times, the wild, wild west, what was what kept women fed? What kept them clothed? What was that? And so this is what Garen's like,
working in the saloons.
Garen's like, what are you prepping? Why are you prepping makeup? And I looked at him and I said, honey, I said, when shit hits the fan, I said, literally, you're going to want to make sure that you have lipstick and liquor on hand and tobacco if you can. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, it goes back to the oldest profession in the world. And so he was like, huh. And I don't think I have to go into description and that kind of thing. You all know what I'm talking about. We're all adults. And so, I would be concerned with that. Now, you're going to have some women that, like Lucy, I think you just said it. What do you have to lose? And so, there may be some women that say, I'm tired. I'm tired of hiking. I'm hungry. I'm done. And I know that if I go over here, God only knows what's going to happen to me or what I'm going to have to do, that kind of thing. But I'm tired. I'm done. And so,
and that's their choice if they're an adult.
Yeah.
But why involve the children? Protect the children.
Well, you're going to have women too that fight, that don't want to leave their son and daughter, right? And so, it's kind of it's interesting here. A lot of farmers and ranchers and that kind of thing, especially when you're just starting out, you want a large family, because what are the children good for? They're good for chores. They help out. They got strong backs and they can do a lot. So, problem is they're already worn out. They're tired. So I just don't know what, I don't know. I wouldn't hand them over. Wouldn't do it.
No.
And somebody else said, let them make their own choice. You're going to have to be flexible that way, because some will, they're going to turn their backs and they're just going to say, I'm done. And they're going to go.
Well, you take the Mennonite and I think it's the Mennonites. I'm not sure about the Amish. I think it's them, whichever one they are. When their children turn of age 16, 18 or whatever, they give them that choice. Do they want to continue on?
Yeah, it's Amish, and they have to do their at 16 they have the choice. They can leave in the I forget what it's called. I want to call it Rosh Hashanah, and that's not it. It's totally not it. But anyway,
but you know what I mean. Yeah.
do know what you mean. Yeah. And then that way they get a little taste of the other life and then they come back.
Yeah.
I guarantee
Yeah.
you that a group that is,
There
yeah,
it is. Karen said it.
Springer, that's it. I knew I was close. And so the, the only thing I would be concerned about, and this is world without rule of law, I'm not sure that they have the choice to stay there for 2 weeks, a month, or whatever, and then come back to the group. I just don't. I wouldn't guarantee that, and I wouldn't think that that's what was going to happen. So, yeah. No, you're right. Coming back with the pepper spilling. Yeah, but or Karen, I don't know. Let's see who's got a dictionary. Look it up and see who's right. Might be fun. So, all right, we got one more. Oh yeah, we're going long-winded today.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So we are emergency preparedness basics, scenario 16. Have you identified the location of emergency exits in buildings you frequently visit, such as schools, workplaces, or shopping centers?
Rabbit is right on the spelling.
There you go.
I looked it up.
Yeah. Most return to their families, yeah. Unless they're on TV, rabbit.
Yeah. Okay, what was your
when I'm in a talking about exits and stuff like that, when I'm in a store or I'm in a new place, that's one thing. When I'm, it's funny because when I used to work at Walmart, of course, I worked at the Wally World, but people were always saying, well, do you know where this is? Do you know where that is? And I looked at them and I'd say, yeah, I'd take them and show them. But I said, and then I'd look at them and I'd say, you know what? Do you remember the Friendly Giant? Look way up. See the signs? It tells you everything that's down each aisle, what's down those aisles. And to me, when no matter what store I go to, like if my daughter's, we were going to go to Costco, she was going to take me. And I've only been to Costco's once in the last 4 years. And she was going to take me to go do shopping and stuff for bulk stuff. But we turned back because we hit snowstorms. So we turned back. But when I go into a big place like that, my first thing, as soon as I walk in the doors, I look up, I look at all the signs and see where everything is. But I also look where my fire exits are, all my, where there's an escape route. It's a habit because I was trained at night working at Walmart. We had to go for training. So I always look up and look for signs, look for exits, whatever I can find that's closest to me wherever I'm, because you don't know what's going to happen. I used to have to work in the dark when the power went out.
So I'm going to repeat the question. Echo missed it. The dogs were barking. It must be like full moon or coming up on full moon or something because my animals are obnoxious too. But have you identified the location of emergency exits in buildings you frequently visit, such as schools, workplaces, or shopping centers?
Yeah. I look at exits. And then also when you go to the bathroom, you see the fire exits too.
Mm-hmm.
They always have a picture of the
map.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do too. I mean, that's just the rule around here. I think there was a similar card a couple of months ago or so that was like that. And so we've talked about this before. G doesn't play that. You got to know where all the exits are. You got to know how many doors there are. All the way to where, like if you're at Sam's Club or Walmart, anything like that, drive around the outside. So okay, this bay, how many semi trucks are there, who's doing what, and just keep an eye out. I really like the way Sam's Club is set up here down in the city and that kind of thing, because when I pull in, I actually pull in from the back. So I can see how many people are at the unloading dock. I can see, how many trucks are there, that kind of thing. Just something that he's pounded into my brain. It's just become a routine. So, but I guess that happens. So, I don't know. But his paranoia, I guess, becomes your routine. Strength. So, yeah, your strength. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know about that too.
Yeah. So that that was 10 cars. We went through all the scenarios. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
I think we did pretty good tonight.
yeah. You guys managed to embarrass me, or I embarrassed myself. And so,
Hey, you gotta
Oh,
laugh once in a while. It's good
yeah.
for you.
No,
Karen
it's
even said restroom first, then exits. I'm an old woman.
good. Yeah. That's not true either. I go there. I was like, I don't know what it is about driving or whatever. And now the temperature change, and Karen's pretty close to here to this area, and so it's super funny because it's like the temperature change, and I was like, holy hell, what is wrong with me? I'm getting older. And I was like, oh, it's mom's fault because I drink Diet Coke. And she's like, I don't know what it is about drinking Diet Coke. Diet Coke makes me have to go to the bathroom. And so I was thinking, I'm like, maybe that's it. Like, she got in my brain. What the heck? And so then I was like, oh, it's weather change. And so I was like, why do I keep having to go to the bathroom? I thought I was just getting so old that, like, but everybody's going through it. So, your body's trying to acclimate to the weather and get better. But
Yeah.
oh my.
Oh yeah.
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 So it's just one of those like, get out of my way. So yeah.
Yeah, or when you're at a red light and you're like banging on your steering wheel. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotta pee.
Please no police. Please no cops. Please no cops. So
Yep.
as you're doing 80 down the road trying to find the next gas station, right?
Or you're coming up on a red light and saying, stay green, stay green, stay green.
Yeah.
Or you got to go so bad and you make when I was going to, my son was taking me, I can't remember where we were going. And I said, I don't want to go on a trip because I got to go every half hour or whatever, because I drink so much coffee. And sure enough, we're going along and I'm holding it and holding it and holding it. And I said, take the next exit. I don't care if it's near a bush or whatever. And I go running in the bush behind the trees and away I'd go, come back out, driving along, turn around. And he'd buy Tim Hortons coffee for all of us in the car. And I'd say, no, I don't want none. I don't want it. I touch it and I'm going to have to go. Sure enough, I'm thirsty. So I drink it, start drinking it. Bang. He's got to stop on the night. I think he stopped 6-7 times just going one way. I don't drink coffee anymore. And now I don't run to the bathroom every 5 minutes.
So two things. So what really makes me angry is like here, their highways are so full and there's so many truckers and everything else. Like you're just not getting out and peeing on the side of the highway. And so, you could open both doors, but it doesn't mean that somebody can't see you on the other side, especially during like hunting season and that kind of thing. So you really don't want to do that. But the thing that really irritates me is that when like Garen knows that I have to go to the bathroom, I'm like, hurry, 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 next exit, because I'm like, find some place, especially when it gets me in the middle of Missouri and there's nowhere, I freak out. And I'm like, my schedule. Like, why? You were asleep, I just figured I'd push it. No, you're supposed to pull over. You're supposed to wake me up and just like a child, go to the bathroom. But
you notice that.
No, wait. It gets worse.
Yep.
And
go ahead.
what he'll do is he'll sit there and he's driving along and he goes, well, whatever you do, this will make it easier. Don't think about running water. Don't think about waterfalls. Don't think about the waves crashing on the ocean. Don't think about washing the dishes.
Oh my God.
I am going to kill you. Like, just knock it off.
Oh God.
So, yeah.
He'd be out the door.
Yeah, I just like,
but you have noticed, I don't know about you. I don't know about where you guys live, but here in Ontario, they have taken all gas. There's just a very rare odd one, but along the main what they call the 400 corridor or wherever, the only way you can use a restroom is you got to get off an exit. They took them all off the highways. They
no rest stops or anything?
No, unless you know where you're going and where there are certain specific ones. It can be an hour in between or longer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've like from here, if I go from here to the town of North, we call it the town, but it's almost, to me, it's like a city, to North Bay, which is 50 to an hour drive. There's no place to stop on the side of the roads. They sold everything, tore everything down. You have to go into the town to find a restroom to use a bathroom
Wow.
or a back road in a tree, in a bush or tall grass.
So Karen brings up a good point. She's like, I keep a kitchen funnel and an empty coffee can. She's in her car. And so, but it was really funny. So a friend of mine, we were at a competition for Schützen, and we all had our dogs and all that stuff. And so we were out there watching, and us girls were finally like, we really have to go to the bathroom. And then we figured out, oh, the bathrooms are locked. And we're like, why are they locked? And so we were trying, so we figured we all each had our bags, each other's bags. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll go up to the woods, we'll watch out, and everybody can use the bathroom and that kind of thing. And so all of a sudden she whips out and she goes, here's one for you, one for you. She hands it to Casey and then one to me. And she's got one. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like this little rubber thing, And I'm like, what is this? And she goes, that's a shiwi. She said, my dad invented those. And I'm like, what do you do with a shiwi? And she goes, you just, unzip and then do what you need to do. She goes, just stay in there. You don't have to squat. You're not going to get anything all over you. And just point it to where you want to go. And so I was like, what? Like, this is brilliant. And so I don't know. I haven't talked to Rosalind in such a long time. And but I need to get a hold of her because I want some of those in my preps. I got to figure out where to find them. But if she can get them from her dad, I'd rather just support him directly. So
yeah, really. I've heard about those things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they use them a lot here.
I guess he was a trucker or something like that, if I remember correctly. And so he was just trying to come up with ways that everybody could use the restroom. And because, you have to do so many hours on the road, you only get so many off, etc. So, but yeah.
Depends.
See, I can't do that either. And so,
I know I couldn't either. I'd feel like a baby.
There's just something about it. Well, it's not just that. I'm like, so I know somebody. And so it was terrible. I was sitting on the bench. She was at eye level for me, because I'm so short and that kind of thing. And she came walking up to me and I was just like, woof. And so, that's got an odor to it. And I can't do that. I got to.
No, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I used to work in the nursing home. 3.5 years I worked in a nursing home as a cook and plus a server. But when it came time to go and take the dishes off the table after the seniors have eaten, they were supposed to take all the seniors to their room. And the seniors all wear Depends. And you walk in one corner, there's a senior sound asleep with her face in her food, never ate, sound asleep. And she had peed and pooped herself. And that's all you smell. When you got to clean all the dishes.
Yeah, I can't. So we were just talking about that. And so now both the grandbabies are potty trained. And so, Atticus still has to figure out the other one. And, but he's got the peeing down fine. But, man, she brought a diaper in and I was just like, and so, and then all of a sudden, grandbaby, my granddaughter picks her, she's, we were like, wipe your nose. And so she picks her nose and then she eats it. And I was like, so, my son.
I always ask, every time my grandkids said, I asked them.
My son was like, Mom, you would never survive in the house. And I said, don't you remember all the conversations I used to have? So I would always tell her, I'm like, you are old enough. You have got to be potty trained. Like your poop stinks. And it makes Oma sick. This cannot happen anymore. We thought for sure she'd be going to kindergarten in diapers. We were just like, hey, that girl stinks.
You know what? I'll tell you something. He'd be my second oldest grandson. When he went to kindergarten and he went to have to use the bathroom, he had a bad habit of stripping himself totally naked to use the toilet. So the teacher was wondering what was taking him so long. She walked in and he's standing there stark naked trying to put his clothes back on. She went into the office and called the mom. My daughter had to go and pick him up, dress him and pick him up. But every time he used the bathroom, he stripped himself naked. So for some reason.
He calls and he's like, well, he goes, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, what's that? And because I told him, I said, like, the best way to do is put Fruit Loops in the toilet, and then has something to aim at, and that's how he figures out, stand and do all of that. So Ian teaches him how to do it, and he's standing up, and he's like a big boy, and Ian starts complaining. He's like, now he's peeing everywhere, all over the house. So like if he has to pee, he just drops his drawers and pees. And so he's like complaining. He's really concerned, and he's complaining about this. And I just started laughing. And I said, he's totally his father's child, and you get what you deserve. And like, I don't know how many times we replaced the carpet in their bedroom while we were potty training him. I don't know. Like, I don't know, but how many complaints from the neighbors because he just whips it out and goes wherever and that kind of thing. Like, I'm some evil mom because he's figured out the freedom of being a man, And so I just don't even, I'm not the person to complain to. So he tried complaining to Garen, and Garen just laughed at him. It's like, you're getting what you deserve, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
no, those are the good times.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with Echo. Yeah, you smell poop, you just want to vomit. The worst one is like if you hear somebody puking, I don't know what it is. Just like I don't know, something in my brain is just automatic. Like I'm sick too. I just can't do it. Oh,
You wouldn't be a good doctor.
I would not. I would not be a good doctor.
It wouldn't. See, it doesn't
Actually,
bother
I would
me.
be a good doctor because I could do it. Like blood, no problem. Digging through stuff, no problem. It's just the sound of vomiting. It's the smell of poop. And so that's why you have RNs, LPNs, and nurses' aides. I'd be like, fine.
And then on the other hand, then you got are you the same way with dogs? With they poop and then they're vomiting, those bother you as well then? Yeah. Yes. You would not like my day I had today.
No, probably
not. It took 3 kennels moving them out of the way to clean the wall.
Oh.
Clean the side of the kennels that it splattered.
I got one better than you, all of you guys put together.
What?
The property that I'm on, the house that we had, when we came to look at it, the daughter had put the old man in a home because he had Alzheimer's and he was gone crazy. Well, while he was living here, he had 3 big dogs, and there was only one other person around here that could go near his dogs. His dogs would rip anybody apart. So when she put the father in the home, she couldn't be near the dogs. She locked the house up, called the SPCA. They couldn't come and get the dogs for 2 weeks. The dogs were locked in the house for 2 weeks.
Wow.
The next door neighbor would come over and stick a bowl of food in and a bowl of water in for the dogs twice a day. But he wasn't allowed to leave the dogs out or anything because they didn't know how vicious they were towards people. When we came and looked at the place, the real estate, because the place got shut down, and they shut all the hydro off and everything, and they didn't know he was a hoarder and a prepper.
Oh,
okay.
No.
The fridge was left and the freezer was left. When we came in, we got to walk through the place. The dog said he had feather pillows. The dogs had ripped all the feather pillows throughout the whole place. All his furniture, all his stuff was in here. Nothing else. The garage was a little path to walk through. The dogs were never out in the garage, but he had so much junk. And so we got the place for a really good price. We were told the daughter was greedy. We put a price in. We got it within 2 days. We had it. Well, it took white suits, masks. My husband and my sons cleaned the yard because there was 40 some trees planted all around the house because he used to sell marijuana, the old guy. And he had the house hidden. So they were out cleaning the yard. My daughter, she's got her own business cleaning. Her and I got the white suits on. We walked in the kitchen door, and it was waist high, well, higher than your waist. Dog poop down all the hallways. The bathtub, you couldn't even tell was a bathtub. You couldn't tell because they'd gotten in the bathtub, and there was poop everywhere because the 3 dogs were fighting and playing.
Ashley,
and then the big thing.
So now we're not just title it things Lucy can't say, but now it needs to be conversations Lucy cannot have.
Then we opened the fridge. I cleaned the fridge out, seeing if there was, say, 50 pounds of bacon. It had been sitting there for 3 months in the heat of summer. The freezer was full. There was dozens of eggs. There were, you name it, it was in that fridge. We had to take it all out and put it in garbage bags to take it to the local dump. And it was me and my daughter. We wore masks and we had white suits and gloves.
Are you trying to make me sick?
And none of us, her or I, threw up once.
All right. So,
and when they came to do,
take anymore, so I'm just gonna say, be at least 1% better tomorrow than you were today. I love you, Lucy. I just like literally, I'm gonna have to figure out how to settle my stomach right now. Like, you got to remember, I was in real estate. I've seen some things, so like things are coming back, and I'm not liking it. So I gotta go make myself healthy again.
That topped it, didn't it? Didn't that top it? That topped it, didn't it?
You win. You win. And so, I mean, I was even thinking of Nana and Papa's house, when I had to go clean that up, that being locked up for a year and a half with food in the freezer and that kind of thing. No, you definitely topped it. So we're just going to stop right there because like just that story, I really want to vomit right now. But I appreciate you ladies. And it is almost 9 o'clock, 8:51. So I think
I made you laugh tonight and I'm happy.
You did. You did make me laugh. So I love you, ladies. Love everybody that's watching.
Go live a life done free. And be safe and keep your head on a swivel.
And everybody in the chat, come join us on Thursday. Another Ladies Night Live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So if you like Lucy's stories, Thursday night is the time to catch it.
You're going to be here this Thursday?
I have lots of stories I could tell you.
All right, guys. Talk to you later. You all
have
stay
a blessed
safe,
evening, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so glad you're done, baby.